Hello and a warm welcome to our Cenibra podcast, which we named Looking at Science, relating broadly to our product lines, looking at cells and looking at layers. My name is Christoph, and in this series we engage with customers, suppliers, friends and business partners and talk about science and things around it, in a very general sense. We will meet with interesting people who talk about their work, their research and their experience with us, our technologies or our common playground in science. It can be quite specific, but we will also dive into broader aspects of scientific work and topics related to it. We're doing this not regularly, but in a very opportunistic way. So when we run into an interesting topic and conversation partner and all of us can squeeze it in, you will find something in this corner of our website. New episodes will be announced on our social media, so no need to subscribe here. If you like it, just enjoy and pop by again. And if you don't, please tell us so we can learn.
Hello and welcome to today's Looking at Science podcast episode. My name is Réka and I am responsible for everything related to marketing at Cenibra. Today we have a special anniversary podcast edition to celebrate our company's Thrilling 13. And for that I have prepared 13 thrilling questions about Cenibra that we will discuss with our founder and general manager, Christoph. Hi, Christoph.
Hey, pleasure being here.
So let's start off this interview with an easy question. We just had a big party to celebrate our 13-year anniversary. Can you tell our listeners a bit about how the celebrations went?
Oh, of course, my pleasure. And as usual, we were planning for a 10-year event, but as you all know, there was this virus around at the time. So we now thought 13 was as good a number as well. Anyway, so we invited all the people who have contributed to our success, our team, our suppliers, and all the local people and small companies we're interacting with on a more regular basis, plus friends and family, of course. And we found a great location, and it was a fantastic party, live music, drinks, and food and everything.
It was a great party indeed. I think everyone enjoyed it a lot, and I'm happy that it turned out so well. And now we can start with the more thrilling or more serious questions, and we move on to question number 2. And we can start with a little introduction of the company history. So can you tell us about the journey that led to the founding of Cenibra and what inspired you to start the company?
Oh, yes. Good question. At the time, I had been working in scientific sales with American companies for 15 years and found it increasingly frustrating, though, to watch their approach to dealing with customers and employees. And I always thought, why would somebody from the other side of the planet know it all much better for here? So I thought about it, and I like dealing with customers and technologies, and I happen to have competent friends and old colleagues. And some of them let me take on the sale for their products. And that's how it all started. In a very small room, by the way, in my parents' house, almost like the proverbial garage company.
And over the past 13 years, how would you say has Cenibra evolved from the start to where it stands today? What were some of the major milestones along the way?
Oh, as with many customers, as usual, we started way too enthusiastic about the market potential for our products in the beginning and what it all could be and how big it could grow in so short a time. And as we hired the first people early on, our costs, of course, were very high in the organization. So, and then we came to a real critical point after some 4 years when we were almost bust, really, because some projects were shifting and shifting and shifting, and our cash was going down and down. So at some point, we even had to sell a person for a transfer fee. And you normally only find that in football. But this is where we could secure the other people's salary. And it was a major excitement, I can tell you that. So, but we took it as a very positive that other companies were ready to pay for our people. So staff quality was obviously not the issue we had. Anyway, lucky enough, these stalled projects then all came in at once at the end of that year. And ever since, we have been profitable and growing. But that was quite an excitement back then.
That does sound exciting indeed. And what happened then?
Well, the next really major milestone was certainly our move to a proper office with a small workshop and lab area and some storage room in 2018. So now 5 years ago. And as things have continued to go well, we're working to more than double this space in early next year. So that's pretty well. And then, of course, the party for the 13th birthday was a bit of an event as well.
Well, that's all very exciting. And now let's move on to our next category of questions. What does Cenibra even do? So Cenibra focuses on biotechnology and life science. Could you explain how your company's work contributes to the advancements in these fields?
Yeah, I mean, in individual cases, that's hard to say. How do we contribute to the advancement? But in general, we represent novel and high-end solutions for life science research, typically from small innovative providers around the world. So, I mean, these solutions we communicate in our local market and, of course, put a lot of effort in supporting them once installed. Because as nice as it is for a lab to have high-tech solutions, these solutions only provide the best value when properly supported and used to their full potential. And that's what we do as Cenibra.
And our customers are mostly researchers. Can you share some insights into the type of research projects that we have been involved in and their potential impact?
Yeah, that varies a lot because our offer is reasonably broad. But for example, we've helped a big pharma in a critical phase 3 trial on one of their latest blockbuster products by providing critical data on a biomarker with one of our partners. And that's interesting because only last week I met a neurologist from the USA who is now prescribing this product for his patients, which I found pretty interesting. And he was, of course, excited to hear to meet somebody who was actively involved in the clinical trials for this product. So these are the directly related stories here. Or we see recently that some of our academic customers have come out with remarkable high impact papers showing data produced with our imaging technologies. But of course, I mean, it's hard to say that we've had an influence here. Maybe it's just good scientists buying this stuff.
Maybe more specifically, if you're talking about these high impact papers, are there any specific projects or developments that you are particularly proud of?
I mean, pride is a big word always, but hard to say what the influence is in specific cases. But we recently, for example, had a customer make it to the cover of a Nature publication with an image generated on one of our instruments and supported by us, which was certainly a great moment, specifically for our team member who had been supporting this lab. So, but more generally, I mean, we are somewhat proud of providing a positive environment for our partners, for our customers, and certainly our team, which is a big part of our success.
This success obviously doesn't come from nothing. In the journey of building and growing Cenibra, what were some of the most significant challenges that you faced and how did you overcome them?
Oh, good question. Yeah, quite generally, and as in any business, the biggest challenge, apart from your own motivation level, which can vary by the day, the challenges is finding the right partners, and that goes in all directions. It goes for suppliers, it goes for the quality of their offer and its applicability in the marketplace, and the support and management they provide. So basically, do you get a good product? But it also applies to the people and talent we can attract and train and keep motivated. On both sides, one cannot always be right. So it takes time and builds the experience base when overcoming these issues. So I think what helped us in all of these cases was to be not too overambitious and stay grounded where certainly the locality we're working in and from and some of the people we have here helps a lot.
Now, as a young scientist with a somewhat entrepreneurial spirit myself, are there any valuable lessons that you've learned as an entrepreneur in the biotech and life science sectors that you'd like to share with aspiring innovators?
Oh, that's a tough one. I mean, fundamentally, we are not an innovator company. We are fundamentally a specialized shop, not so much a technology an inventor. But having seen many of these companies in the past, yeah, much more than 13 years, there may be one thing that can possibly be said, as these aspiring innovators typically spring up in a university environment. And that is this. If you want to do something like that and turn your work into a company, get out of the academic bubble as soon as possible and look for acceptance of your technology in the outside world, which is the research-driven life science industry like pharma, food, medical, this type of thing.
Thank you very much for these valuable insights. Now, when you look at the future, what is your vision for the future of Cenibra, and are there any exciting projects on the horizon?
Oh, there's constantly news coming in. For example, we have recently partnered with a new and exciting manufacturer for a truly innovative single-cell technology, which we are quite excited about. And in a more general sense, from the amount of requests from other manufacturers, we conclude that we seem to have made a bit of a name in the field now, which is great. So currently we have to turn down more requests than actually accept them for new products, which is a good thing. More importantly, though, all this comes through our experts in the field and the impression they make, because that's where we're getting these requests from. And also job applications from very promising candidates come to us. So in summary, can say the future looks very promising, and we are much looking forward to the coming years with new products and new people and our existing team.
That all sounds very great. And now on a more personal note, what is it that inspired you to become involved in biotechnology and life science? And how has your own background and experiences shaped your journey?
Yeah, I mean, as usual, there's a lot of coincidence coming in and not so much personal contributions. But my scientific background is biophysics. But I knew back in the lab that I'd rather focus on communication in connection with science than on actually doing the science myself. And this led inevitably to a business environment where I started close to 30 years ago. And of course, I have to thank my former employers and colleagues for providing the opportunity to collect the experience on the way, which allows us now to work the way we like and to work in this exciting life science field. So lots of things coming together here. And a lot of it is, as I said, pure coincidence. But then when doors open, you have to walk through, and that's what we did sometimes. And that's why we're here.
And now you obviously do have a lot of experience in the biotech and life science sector. What advice do you have for individuals who are also interested in pursuing careers or ventures in this area?
Oh, not a lot that would be very specific for that sector or could not be applied to any other. I mean, if you're graduating from some institution, and even before you do that, if you choose a subject, pick something you like doing. Check if the environment and the management style there works for you. Be open to new developments and keep having fun. And if doors open, walk through and see what's on the other side. That's all I can say, and that goes for everything, really.
Talking about management style, what makes working at Cenibra so special for you, and what do you enjoy most about your work there?
Well, on the first thing, there's little I can comment here. In general, what makes it enjoyable for me is the possibility to really influence things in our little Cenibra world, and to employ past experience for good use here, to explore new opportunities if and when they show up. And I mean, one of the key motivating factors is certainly working with our highly motivated team here.
In your daily work, is there anything in the Cenibra office that makes it especially enjoyable for you to work there?
Oh, there's certainly one thing, but the joy comes and goes. Let me share this little secret. In the Cenibra office, one of the most contested questions every week is this: who wins the weekly darts contest? And normally we're taking turns on this, but I have to admit that this week I'm way behind, and that puts me close to a major depression. But anyway, I'd still like to end on a positive note. Let me go back to the taking turns on darts wins every week.
That is a great answer to our very last and 13th of our 13 thrilling questions. I would like to say thank you again for being here today and for recording this special anniversary podcast episode. And to all of those who are listening out there, thank you very much for joining in. And we will hear you guys the next time in the Looking at Science podcast.
This was Cenibra's Looking at Science podcast. Thanks for listening, and for any feedback, please send us a note. And if you follow us on social media, you'll be alerted about the next issue. All the best, and talk soon.